You are the first person I'm interviewing who went from BSc to PhD.
Okay.
Okay, welcome to my live session once again, and today I'll be interviewing Oyi. Oyi moved from BSc to PhD in the US on scholarship, and she's coming live today to talk to us about the behind the scene, all the things that happen. Myself, I'm Dr. Linda Iheme. I'm an educational consultant with Vantage Migration. Myself and my team, we train graduates who want to relocate abroad, graduates and professionals, on how to do this all by themselves. Hello, how are you, Oyi?
Hi, doctor. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'm super excited to see you.
Yes, I'm excited as well.
Where are you joining us from today?
In Burlington, Vermont, US.
Whoa. It's always good to call those names. You know, some names that before is like things you read on books or you see on TV, and now you're like, where are you calling from? Well, I'm calling from so place. It's so cool. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Like, you are the first person I'm interviewing who went from BSc to PhD.
Okay.
Yeah, the first person. I'm sure there are other people that probably have done it, I don't know, but you are the first person I'm interviewing on my page who have done this. And seriously, I'm sure a lot of people are curious to like, how did this happen? You know, what made you want to do this. In fact, it's probably something, you know, one of those things you hear and you're like, too good to be true. Let's just leave it. So I'm really curious. Like, first of all, as a form of introduction, I would like to know, what did you study in your BSc, and maybe like what was your profession before you left Nigeria?
Oh, okay. In my undergrad, first of all, I went to the Federal University of Technology, Owerri, and I studied information management technology. I think the name has been changed now to information technology. And then before now too, I was working in Zenith. So I studied something different and my profession was totally different.
I see. So what PhD, what are you doing right now?
Computer science, PhD in computer science.
Wow. Okay, so from BSc information technology to PhD computer science.
Science, yes.
Hey God, this is still too good to be true, even though a real beneficiary is standing in front of me. Okay, so let me start. Let me ask you an open-ended question. Tell us your study abroad story.
Okay, just like everybody else, we usually come on Instagram, and some of us will just be flipping through pages. And then one of these days, I saw your webinar online about the master class, and I was excited to join it after going through the webinar. But then at some point, I was like, the money was much. Then I was like, because I was already determined, I had to give it some couple of months. This was in May, and by August, I had to go back to register, and then I partook in the August master class. I was just determined, so I had a target. I had to set a target on how to go about the funds, and then the particular time to take the master class, so that I'll be able to apply before the fall 20, before the application closing period. So that was basically it.
Okay, so yeah, so you started the class, and like, tell us up to the point where you ended up in US. Because like, okay, so you did the master class.
So I took the master class, and then I applied all that was taught in the master class. Ordinarily, yes, I know I had some information about study abroad and processes to go about it, maybe the application materials, but it's not just about the application materials, it's about the content of the application materials. So during the course of the masterclass, we were taught how to go about our statement of purpose, contacting professors, and what to actually write in those kind of emails. And then especially, we also taught about going about our programs of best fit and what can make or mar your admission. And I applied those things. Then I filed in my application and boom.
That was like a bomb.
And boom, in a month, I received my application decision, and this is where I am today.
Wait, okay, well, it's like, I'm sure somebody hearing this thing will just be like, wait. You see, the wait is not, you don't say wait, you say wait. This is too fast. Okay, wait. See, I'm curious as a person. What made you apply for a PhD direct since you had BSc?
Okay, I'm going to reference someone. Okay, I actually had my undergrad supervisor. He's been there, so I have to give this to him. Most times he was always encouraging me that I could do more than what I currently do. So he was like, since we are looking at funding, not just funding, we're looking at full funding, why not apply to a school in the US? And that in the US, having a master's is not a prerequisite for PhD admission. So because we're looking at full funding, I had to apply for PhD directly in the US from my BSc.
Wow. First of all, thanks to your professor who encouraged you as well, because it's usually important when we have, aside the knowledge, but when you have let me use the word like an accountability person, somebody who even asks you about your dream. Hey, how is it going, safe? You know, so once you have that person, they play a crucial role in making sure that you don't drop off from what your dream is, and even sometimes they provide insight. So thanks to your professor as well. I'm glad that you're able to give him that kudos. And some things you've revealed here, is US to be precise, where masters is not a prerequisite for doing PhD, meaning you can go from BSc to PhD, and or masters to PhD as well. Some people do masters. I know people that have gone to US to do masters.
Yeah.
Even there is this thing that is called fast track, where you start a masters, let's say 2 years masters. After the first 8 months to 1 year, you apply to go to PhD direct. That means you don't get to finish the masters.
Yeah.
So there are a couple of things in between, but I'm so glad that you took the bull by the horn. Which I would, when you talked about application materials, and it's not just shit, they say we should submit SOP. I've submitted my SOP to them. I've submitted my CV. Yes, you submitted it, but what's inside? Because I doubt that if you, like, going from BSc to PhD is a huge jump. So one will expect that you will show that you are is worth it for you to go to PhD right now. And how are you going to show them? Is the things you are writing, how you are doing it, it's like they want to see those things. So if you're even going to make this jump from BSc to PhD, the content of what you are submitting has to play a huge role.
Yes.
Because it's not just I've submitted my CV to them. I've submitted what looks like an SOP to them, right? So congratulations. I have a couple of questions for you. Let me take a look at mine. I jotted some things down. So you talk, okay, I have asked you about those introduction and what inspired you to go for PhD. And then I think another point you mentioned was the funding. So let me ask you, did you get scholarship? Tell us more.
Okay. Okay. I got a fully funded offer. My tuition is being taken care of. My health insurance is also being taken care of. And then I'm also receiving a monthly stipend that is being paid bi-weekly.
Oh God.
And then thirdly, I also have a Dean scholarship that is covering my comprehensive fee, which is a fee that students usually have to pay.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. Calm down first. See, sometimes when I say this, it looks like it's a lie. But I'm happy that at least it's happening to you. Don't worry. Those that don't believe it, even when they hear from you, they will still believe it. The way I'm sure when you attended my webinar and I was saying those things, you're like, too good to be true, but let's just see what we can do with it. let me ask you, so when you attended our webinar, did you just believe everything I said? Or did you have some doubts?
Well, it's normal. Not that I had some doubt. I was like, oh, I had some idea, but well, this has added to the knowledge I had. Like there were things I really didn't know, but it clarified it or made it more clear for me. So when I was writing my SOP, I actually wrote it alone. Attending that webinar made me, I don't know, but it changed a lot. Initially, I was panicking about how I'll go about my SOP, but after attending it, I sat down and then.
You mean the master class now, right?
Yes, the master class. I sat down and I wrote. I wasn't in doubt because I've seen testimonies, so I wasn't really in doubt.
Yeah. Okay. So let me rephrase. So I was talking about, you know, that's our info session, right?
Okay.
When you attended the info session, did you just believe everything I said, including that a school was paying me, or when I was studying? Like, I'm sure I made some very pretty big claims.
Yes.
Like, what was your situation after attending that webinar? Oh, I think I trust everything she said. Or like, can you remember?
Well, it was like, I was like, really? Is that so? Really? But it's normal, actually. We are humans. It's normal.
Yeah.
To maybe have a little bit of doubt, you know. But if the bigger part of you, or let me say, bigger part of your heart agrees with a lot of things, it's something worth giving a leap. But then you might still have a little bit of really. Let's just give it a try.
In fact, some people are now everybody never do this thing. If it's that easy.
Yeah.
It looks like a lie. I'm telling you that even as you are talking now, if we were to take a vote out of the number of people watching this, say, okay, let's ask them. How many people watching this thing believe that only got full scholarship? They are paying her bi-weekly in US as a student. No, she's not paying, school fees taken care of, health insurance taken care of, and school is paying her every 2 weeks. In case somebody does not understand what bi-weekly means. Means you don't pay more every 2 weeks. They will carry money put for your account. Say, take this one, they use the whole body before another 2. How many people believe? You can say, I believe, I don't believe. Let's see the comments. I know I must see person who don't believe. I know I must see, because it's too
Jane said I didn't believe it.
You think I'm joking? Unbelievable. Like, it doesn't sound real. It's like, this is the way they talk. So, in fact, some people, they will say, all those people used to go and pay to come to your live session. Please let me ask you, did I pay you to come to my live session? To come?
No.
So, this thing is too good to be true. The good thing is that it is true. And it does not work exactly the same way for everybody.
True.
I did not go to the US. I came to Canada. But I was also paid. I was not paid bi-weekly. I was paid once a month. So like everybody's going to have the variation. Some people, they will not get full scholarship.
Yes.
They will get partial scholarship. They will take loan to cover it. Some people, they will just get maybe small scholarship. They will use loan. Some people, they will not get loan. They will not get scholarship because they already have the money to use to pay for their own study. Do you understand? Like, everybody's case is not going to be exactly the same. But if there's one thing I want somebody who is watching this interview today about OE going from BSc to PhD on full scholarship in the US, is that it always sounds too good to be true, but it can actually be true for you that you're watching as well. It can actually, it was true for me, it was true for her, it can be true for some people say only women they happen for. Please, let me ask you, this scholarship you got, is it a scholarship that is for only women?
No.
So, like, people always have their, the thing. It's something to just brush it about because their mind can't come to believe a news like this. But I hope that anybody that is watching us will gone extra mile to clarify that, man, this is real. No matter how too good to be true that it sounds, it is real. So, okay, I think the question I have for you, you've mentioned it at the beginning. One of the questions is like, the role that Vantage Migration played. In fact, let me say something. You mentioned that you already knew some things even before you took our training. And it's very important for us to highlight that because there's, except some few people, there's hardly anybody who is tabula rasa, like plain, they don't know anything at all when it comes to study abroad. But one thing is that training can expose you to more things.
True.
Even when you think that you already know, like I went to Nigeria recently, there was a lady I met, and she was like, okay, let's talk. I actually know a lot about this study abroad. I was like, okay, you know a lot about study abroad, why haven't you started? She was like, like, there are just some things I want to clarify. So I said, okay, let's talk. So we started talking. One of the questions she asked me was like, this IATST, and this is true life story, this IATST does not want to write it. And I was like, but yeah, you don't need IATS. So my point is, this is even for someone who claims to know so much. And she's not wrong. I'm sure she knows a lot. But sometimes, some unique obstacles, despite because most times you pick those information from online, from somebody's video that was saying how they travel, you just pick it. You know the information, but it's hazy. It's just here and there. So training kind of help you arrange things and now say, okay, this is step one. This is how you're going to do it. Not just that I know that people go abroad. I know that they get stuck. But how? That's usually the big problem. How? Where will you go and search? Where will you get the school you apply to now? Even some people, they will be like, oh, please give me the name of the school. That's what they are going to say. But in fact, the way I look at it is that is the best way to sabotage the person's dream. Because the school you are going to now may not even have their program. May not be the best school for that person. That was not the route that led you to where you are now. Everybody has to go to the school that is best for them. Not the school that don't. Imagine you say you must come to Waterloo in Canada, right? Canada is not known for allowing people to move from BSc to PhD. So if you say you go to give me the name of your school, University of Waterloo, that is where you put your head. That will have sabotaged this dream.
Sure.
Just think, so sometimes when people ask for link, I'm like, guy, relax. In fact, this is not the right way. So the whole point is that sometimes you know a lot and give it to that person. The person knows a lot. But the question is, truth be told, if you knew enough, you will have started the process.
True.
So if the person say, I know a lot, so forget this thing when they talk, not be this thing when my cousin do, when my niece do. If you have not started the process, it's a sign that there is something keeping you. So if the training may not benefit you the way it will benefit others because you already know 50% of what is going to be taught. But if all it does for you is remove that obstacle that is holding you from moving on, it has done a lot. It has done its work. Let me put it that way. So let me ask you tricky question. So I know that you mentioned about paying for our training, thinking it was a lot because to a normal person it could be a lot, right? So, but now here you are, full scholarship PhD. PhD is 3 years or 4 years in US. How many years?
4.
4 years. So by default, you paid in dollars every 2 weeks for the next 4 years.
Yes.
So now, like, if somebody is in that position, thinking, oh, this is a lot, what advice do you have for the person?
It's a very good it's an investment that will return. I don't even know how to quantify it. The investment return is unquantifiable. The little money you pay for the training is nothing compared to what you would get in even 2 weeks. It's nothing. You can't compare it. You can't even compare it at all. So suppose I was still in Nigeria, I was just telling myself some days ago that even if you pay me salary of 5 months for now, like now, it can't even compare to what I'll receive in 2 weeks. So it's an investment with a very huge return. It's never money wasted. Even if you must work hard or save more than you would normally save, then whoever is listening should just close their eyes and save. It's just for a while, and after time, by the time you start reaping the fruit of your investment, you won't even remember, because I don't even remember that. I don't even remember that I saved money to probably make up to pay for it. So it's worth the investment. Yeah.
Okay. Like sometimes I don't talk. My mouth don't, red out of talking, but it's like sometimes I'm like, God, I wish I can don't whisper to somebody. This will change your life. If the person truly know that if they actually come, take this training, apply it, it will change their life. It can change that of your family, because if you know how to do it, what prevents you from helping your brother?
Yeah.
If you know how to do it, what prevents you from helping your sister, your cousin, your best friend? Like there's no obstacle. Because once you do it once, you can do it 100 times over and over and over again. Meaning, it does not just help that person, it helps their family. When I look at it, it's like lighting a bulb in a house or in a dark room. It lights up everywhere. It lights up everywhere. So, okay, now let's look at for people that want to go from BSc to PhD. What's your advice for them? I'm sure anybody watching this would have been interested in that topic before they decided to watch this up to this moment. So, what's your advice for someone who has BSc in an African country looking to do PhD in the US specifically? What's your advice for them?
Okay, for me, the first thing the person should have at the back of their mind is that it is not impossible. It happens. The same way an MSc holder is being looked at is the same way your application will be looked at. All they need to do is, first of all, find their program of best fit. Once they can find their program of best fit, properly have their SOP written, and then not just get anybody to reference them. Good references count a lot. Referencing is a lot. And then your certificate, probably if you have a 2-1 or even 2-2, it shouldn't stop you. People are still getting it with whatever they have. So the main thing is having it in you, believing in you that you can do it, that this is what you want. And you're going to just be there. Just put in the proper application, have the right mindset, and have the right information. Then the person is good to go.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you very much for that. You hinted on something, which is the grade, which I know some people would think that, okay, do you have first class? Let's just clarify.
Well,
you have first class?
Not really. I graduated with a 4.22.
Okay, that's a high CGPA.
That's a first class in the US.
That's a first class in the US. I see. Yeah, because another thing is the actual CGPA grade, not just whether your school called it first class or not. Isn't that part of what we talked about when we talk about CGPA and calculating the last 2 years of those things? Okay, so yeah, that's awesome. So one thing I want to say is that grade is important, especially for an undergraduate person who is still getting those grades, right? That means don't go and relax and say, even if I come out with pass, it doesn't matter for an undergraduate. But if you're a graduate, that grade you have, there's nothing you can do about it. So for you, it is even safer for you to assume that grade plays no role. You should not be asking yourself, what do I have to do now to stand out, to show them that I'm a star? So believe it or not, abroad, your grade matters less to a reasonable extent. They want to see what you have, and what you have, how are you going to show them? Nobody, on the average, nobody is even going to really call you and say, what do you have?
Yes.
How are they going to see it? Your documents, the documents you're going to be submitting for the application, right? So I just want to encourage anybody that is watching that they should know, even if they have low grade, what they call low grade, there are even people that they have low grade, but for example, if you look at their semi-final and final year, they have first class. They don't even know they have first class, but because of the system where everybody tends to look at something based on the lens that they are wearing. And when I say the lens, it's like your background, right? So people tend to look at things from the lens that they already have, but it's not always so. The place where you are going to, it is better to listen to mentors who are working with people going there, who have even gone there. It helps to clarify a lot of things. Let me give an example of how looking at something from your lens is the easiest thing we do, but sometimes is not necessarily the correct thing. True. So I'm from Nigeria, you know, the way they say originally, I'm from Nigeria. I'm still in Nigeria, by the way. But I'm from Nigeria, and in Nigeria, we have, for the sake of any other person who is not in Nigeria, not for you, I know you're in Nigeria too, so it's okay. From in Nigeria, we have 36 states plus FCT, but let's just say 36 states, right? So the way it is done is that there is a country, and then there is a state. And when you say, what's the capital of Nigeria? Let me ask you, what's the capital of Nigeria? FCT, Abuja, right? So, and Abuja is a state. Yeah. Sort of. Is a state on its own. So the lens I had when I came to Canada is that Canada has 10 provinces and 3 territories. But roughly, a normal person that is just coming to Canada will say has 13 provinces. Let's just make it simple. All right. So I imagine that if we are going to have the capital of Canada, it has to be one of those provinces. Because in Nigeria, the capital is a state, which is the next after the country. But guess what? It is not so. The capital of Ontario is so popular, but the capital of Canada is not a province, it's a city, Ottawa. Just, do you get what I mean? But I was using, if you ask me that question before today or before recently, or before I started reading about Canada history, I would tell you it's Ontario. That's what I used to say. Because I'm using the Nigerian lens. That's where I was coming from. I'm using the Nigerian lens to say, if Abuja is the capital of Nigeria, then this, you know, something like that. Well, I never knew that capital of a country in Canada is a city, Ottawa. And that even the provinces, they have their own capital, you know, and all that. And Toronto is the capital of Ontario. This is just history. But I'm just using it to demonstrate how you can use the lens of where you're coming from to look at something. For somebody in Nigeria, going from BSc to PhD is not possible. You understand that kind of, like in Nigeria's situation, you have to go through masters. It's a prerequisite. But they will not understand that, whoa, in US, that same prerequisite does not hold. You see, lenses are good because at least you don't start from zero. But sometimes they can be misleading. Yeah, they are good, but they can be misleading. So I hope that somebody watching us today, aside what they know from their own lens, what they know, that if you don't have first class, you cannot even dare something like this, that they will remove that lens and understand that grade is not necessarily the most important thing you have to show the school. That even if master's is a prerequisite for PhD in their country, they will remove it and say, for US, BSc to PhD is possible. Those are some, it's like here we are correcting lenses. Are we now optometrists? I don't know again, no. But here we are correcting lenses. And thank you so much, Oyi, for joining me. And I'm super grateful that you decided to share your story. Me, myself, I was very curious to know, how did you do it? It's not just from BSc to PhD. Full scholarship gone. Hey, I was very curious. Congratulations, okay?
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you for having me too.
Yeah. As you live in the US, my own advice for you is explore.
Yes.
Explore. US, you are in one. You're in one state. Yes, it's called state. You're in one state, but also do your best. If you you have opportunity to travel to other states,
Yes.
that would be interesting. Number 2, if you have opportunity to travel to other countries, like Canada is very close to you. Come to Canada and you know where you're going. Travel, especially your field that is IT related. There's a lot of IT programs. In fact, let me tell you, the most sexy profession you can be right now is a woman in tech.
Yes.
That's it. A woman in tech, you are made for like life. It sounds so sexy, like the way we used to have female doctors in several years ago.
Yes.
A woman in tech is the new in thing. Seriously.
New normal.
Yes. It's the new normal. And what I'm going to say is PhD deals a lot with research.
Yes.
But I also want you to know that industry-wise, they deal a lot with practical stuff. So you will see some people these days, they will do 3 months IT program and they'll start working big team. So the money school is giving you is a lot, but there is much more money to be made by the skill of your hands. Even while you're a PhD student.
Internship.
Yes. So if you have, let's say now, let's say you do some little programs here and there, even 3 months program. PhD is usually like, it's not like every day you're in class from morning to evening, you know. So you leverage on that opportunity, learn some IT hand skills. If you even just use that one to be doing part-time job in US as a PhD student, my dear, you go they drop 2K a week. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Like, it's not even a month, 2 a week. That's seriously, because IT is money. So now you're in the place, you are in the right profession, do the right things, man. Your life will even be more colorful.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Okay, wishing you the best. You can go. Please, everybody say bye-bye to you and thank her for you. Thank you.
Bye.
Oh my God, let me see the color of your nails. It looks like my oh my God. When I went to do my nails, I was like, please give me something shiny. Thank you. That's so cool.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. You can exit and then I'll close the interview.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so thank you so much, everyone who joined us today for this interview. Wow! Did you enjoy it? Did you learn something? Did you learn? Are you sure you learned something? Are you sure? Are you sure? Even for those that don't believe that a school abroad will be paying you every 2 weeks, every month. Not that you are paying the school. No, school are taking care of your school fees, and not just that school is paying you. You don't believe it's true. I don't, if you watch your own story, watch my own story, you don't believe. I don't know what else to do for you. I don't know what else to do for you. So what I'm going to say is that if you learned something from this interview, drop a comment for us. If you're watching it on my Instagram, drop a comment. Even if you watch it as a replay, drop a comment if you can. But most importantly, right, like, I always love that when you finish something, let there be something you go home today to implement. Okay, let there be something you go home today to implement, and I'm going to show you what to implement. When Onyi was talking about, yes, she saw me on Instagram the same way you saw me on Instagram today, or on YouTube today, or Facebook, wherever you're seeing me right now, right? Oh, you saw me, and after that, what did she do? She attended our webinar. After that, she took the master class. After that, she implemented what she learned. After that, she traveled. After that, school is paying her into her account. So it is not just enough for you to watch and say, oh, praise be God now. Wow, thank God. Oh. It's not just enough. It's not just enough. Instead, you must take action. Because without action, nothing is happening for you. Let me tell you. Truth be said, without action, nothing is happening. So what is the action that I want you to take today? I want you to attend our free study abroad webinar. That is the action. And this is the link. This is the link. Go to www.vantagemigration.ca. Please take a screenshot. Whether you're watching this on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, Go to www.vantagemigration.ca. Take a screenshot, as I said. Take a screenshot, take a screenshot, take a screenshot. All right? So once you go to www.vantagemigration.ca, attend our free webinar, understand what you see, get the information you need to make an informed decision. All right? Then you can decide to proceed. You can decide to wait. You can decide to do anything. But at least you attending this webinar is one action I want you to take today as a result of watching this video. Is one action. And someone is talking about how do you contact us. So let's assume that, first of all, the webinar is the first step that I want you to take. If you have already taken this first step, attending the webinar and completing it, some people, when they'll do 5 minutes, they'll come out, Glenda, I couldn't finish the webinar. Hey, what next should I do? I said, you have not done the first thing I asked you to do. So the first thing is for you to complete the webinar. Once you do that, number one, you're also going to see how to proceed. But assuming you still have more questions that you would like to ask us, feel free to send us an email to one particular email address. Not two, not three. One particular email address, which is what? admission@vantagemigration.ca. So if you look at this Vantage Migration that is written here, this is the webinar link, www.vantagemigration.ca, right? So the email address is admission@vantagemigration.ca. Okay? So it's just like admission, then you put at, then you write the website address. All right? Contact us and we'll be able to clarify any question you have, so that question that you have in your mind, or it could even be the doubts that you have in your mind, so that it does not become a stumbling block to your success. All right? So do well, attend the Study Abroad webinar at www.vantagemigration.ca. You get enough information to proceed. But if you decide, all right, if you decide that you want to email us, send us an email at admission@vantagemigration.ca. Now, someone is wondering, what if I want to go to Canada? What if I want to go to UK? What if I want to go to Australia? Italy, Poland, blah, 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 name the country. Vantage Migration does not only handle people going to the US. Only went to the US. Dr. Linda went to Canada. Other people have gone to UK. Others went to Australia. Others went to Germany. If you go to my YouTube, Dr. Linda Iheme TV, you are going to see over 600 videos that we have made. You check for the YouTube channel, Dr. Linda Iheme TV, that has currently over 600 videos. You are going to see all the people we've been interviewing from time to time. Different people are going to different countries. So, irrespective of the country you want to travel to, you can take our Study Abroad webinar and start from there, and we can work with you so that you can go to the country you desire. All right? This is very essential. This thing you are listening to today that look like too good to be true has the potential to change your life. One, change the life of your family. Two, that's your immediate family. Change the life of your spouse if you are married. It doesn't mean we work with only married people. All right? Change the life of everybody around you. Change the life of your best friend. Change the life of your siblings. Change the life of your entire town. I'm telling you, it sounds too good to be true, but unfortunately, fortunately, it is true. Fortunately, it is true. Fortunately, it is true. So, take action. If you finish this thing and say, thank God, though, I watched it. Well, I will see when she come like again, so that I will, my dear, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. Take action. Go to www.vantagemigration.ca and get started.